Starting to stream now. Starting to stream now. This is how you start a podcast. Who drinks RC soda? Like in that 1950s?
This is like a limited time flavor, and I see why it's limited because it's trash. I saw it in the store like, oh, berries and cream RC cola. That might be decent. It's not.
I tried something limited. Okay, let's. Is the show started?
Yeah.
Okay. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm. We are back with more August. Delvin Cox is in the building.
We have Scarfinger, aka Real Talk.
Really, you went there? Wow, I haven't heard that in a long time. And of course Chase is in the building.
Yep.
And all right, so you were talking about limited edition stuff, and you said the RC that you had is limited edition, and it's not very good.
Limited edition trash.
It's a cool can though.
Yes, RC berries and cream. You can suck my berries and cream. This shit's garbage.
Okay, so I had some limited edition, and
Damn.
I had, and I have subsequently finished and started another bag of the Cool Ranch Lays. And I can say definitively, these are the shit that this should be a normal thing. Like,
well, sometimes that shit ends up like, like when Mountain Dew does all their crazy shit. Some of those end up as, I mean, that's how Code Orange started, or not Code Orange,
Code Red.
Code Red. It started as a limited thing, and then everybody loved it, so now it's just normal shit.
I miss flavored Mountain Dew, like different flavors of Mountain Dew, because they don't make a whole lot of that in diet, and I'm fat and I got diabetes, and shit happens.
Well, but I don't really drink soda at all anymore. Once we started getting on this sparkling water kick, at first it was like, man, this shit's nasty, but after like a week or two, we got used to that shit, and we can't even we like soda.
Okay, see, here's the problem with sparkling water.
It sucks.
There is a difference. There's a difference though. There's a difference between when it's in a bottle and there's a difference when it's in a can. When it's in a can, avoid that bitch at all costs. That shit just tastes like flavored seltza water, which no one should like seltza water. But
that's the only way I've tried it.
No?
Nah, dog. Well, I've never had those. I never had those because those are for weird people.
So you say I should try the bottle one?
Try the bottles. If it's in a bottle.
My favorite LaCroix is a limoncello.
I ain't talking about the LaCroix. Like, fuck that. I ain't never tried that shit. Like what is?
They're the same price. We get all the brands, but they're the same prices. They're all the same price. There's Bubbly, which is made by Pepsi. There's Aha, which is made by Coke, and then LaCroix is its own thing.
Nah, if it's in a can, I ain't fucking with it. Nope, not at all. Ain't fucking with it. Not at all. Not gonna happen for me because every time I go, this one might be different. Turns out not to be the case. The last one I tried, I was in Dollar Tree, and they had some Jelly Belly ones, Jelly Belly's sparkling water, and I'm like, they can't fuck this up.
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can because and I got black person. I got the watermelon, and they fucked that up.
I believe that 100%.
Because it just tasted like fucking, when you're in like McDonald's or something like that, and the fucking syrup.
Yeah, it tastes like that for a little bit, and then once you get used to it, it doesn't no more.
That tastes like what you would think that static tastes like. Like, you know what I mean? Like static on the TV. Like, it's just what it tastes like to me. Like, it tastes like what you would feel like bumping your elbow really hard against something would fucking taste like.
I had a Sprite that didn't work. And man, I took a sip of that, and it felt like I just drank a bowling ball. It just went boom, and I was like, bleh. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's just
Sprite?
so, yeah.
Wow. It just made me burp so bad. I haven't had an actual Sprite in a long time. Like I do the off brand shit. Like I go to Walmart, get the Walmart brand shit. But like I don't think I've had an actual Sprite in a very long time.
Oh, I have it all the time because when you go to like get fast food, Pepsi,
Well,
Coke, I
the
usually get
Sprite
Sprite.
definitely doesn't affect me as much. If I get a dark soda, it's just so heavy. Like Dr Pepper, Coke, like any of that stuff is just so heavy, man. It feels like I'm
I
eating
just
drinking a
I
steak.
just I just wish they made more stuff in diet. Like, of course, the sparkling water, like most of that stuff, is not doesn't have like sugar and stuff in it, so that's pretty cool. But like, I wish they made more sodas for people like me. Like, we really have like the colas, the sprites, and stuff like that. Maybe a ginger ale, and then it's just orange.
Let me
Like
ask you this: how do you feel about the zero sodas?
zero sodas are just fine for me. I ain't got no issues with zero sodas,
So
but like,
Pepsi Zero, Coke Zero. I think
yeah,
they have
but like
Dr Pepper Zero, Mountain
Whichever
Dew
one has
Zero.
sucralose instead of the aspartame, because aspartame tastes like ass.
That's why it's
But
called aspartame.
it's just I mean yeah that seems like that should be the show title. That's why it's called aspartame. Um, I, I gotta remember that. Um, I just it just they just don't make a whole bunch of stuff in diet, and that's it just sucks because like mostly what you can find like you can get like the Mountain Dew stuff. Occasionally they'll make a diet version,
Yes, they do.
Well,
They,
but
don't
like
they
they have a diet version of that new? Well, I don't know if it's new now, but the that melon one.
Baja Blast.
Well, not
yeah,
Bob.
I've seen it, and then I've seen the one where it's like a melon.
Yeah, Major Melon. That's the one I was thinking about. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Let me ask you this, Scarfinger. Have you ever thought about getting a soda stream?
we talked about this recently, right? Did we talk about this on the show, or did we talk about it in our just game night chats?
um.
We
It,
literally just talked about this
I
in the
think it
last
might
two
have been on
weeks.
the show, but it also might have been on the game night because we've been having those so much. We've been having so
Right.
many shows to where they're bleeding together on which one we
Yeah,
actually
so
talked about it.
so we just talked about this, and I just had some yesterday. So I went to Popeyes. My daughter wanted some Popeyes for some reason, so I went to Popeyes, and well, I finally got my car fixed yesterday, um, and so I went to Popeyes, and then I went inside because if you know like I know, or if Popeyes is the same here as it is everywhere else, like
Yes.
if you go in that drive-through
You gonna wait a minute.
you might as well bring a book, nigga. Like what the like I don't know
Yeah,
what
you
the
gonna
fuck
wait a
they be
minute.
doing with the drive through, but like go inside. If you gonna order your food, just go inside, order your food. So, but like I ordered some nuggets. They told me I had to wait, so I sat there in the little seats right there by the machine. So I was basically drinking like the Sprite Zeros. I was just switching the flavors, like because of course they take forever. Even if you go inside, they take forever. But at least when you're
You,
inside, you
you
can just
just
fuck
you
with the
just pulled your
machine.
chair up. You're like, I'm just gonna sit right here at this machine. And you're just like,
No, I was sitting not even 3 feet away from the machine. So like I was right there. Um but yeah, so I had some and I was just trying the different flavors. I know I sat there because they slow as fuck. I know I tried at least 4 different flavors, including one that I absolutely didn't want. It had a pomegranate blueberry, and I'm not a fan of either. But I'm like, fuck it. I'm sitting here. I'm not doing anything. It wa-
Huh, interesting.
it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I mean, I'm not a fan of those flavors, but like, it's not like anything I'm like really adverse to. It's
you're the only
those
person. You're the only person
those
I know
flavors
that's like
separately.
so against mango though. I don't
Yeah, I can't do mango. I can't do mango. Like even if they had mango in that machine, I'm not using mango flavored anything. Mango is always better in thought than it is in practice. Like mango, like if you say like we gonna have some mangoes, you're always like yeah mangoes, and then when you have some, it's just like oh it's just mango.
I like mango, but I like the juice more than I like the actual fruit itself because the fruit is really messy. It's really messy. It can be stringy. Then you have the little pit in it you got to take out. It's a mess eating mango. So it's kind of like, I'd rather just have mango nectar as opposed to dealing with all of what comes with mango. It's a
Pomegranate is
lot.
cool as a fruit because it's almost like you're eating candy. Those little pockets or whatever.
Yeah, I can see why you think that.
I guess I can go with you on that, but I haven't had an actual. Okay, we I'm from Virginia, we country. I haven't had a Chinese apple in a long time. Like, do y'all call them Chinese apples where y'all live? They've been Chinese apples for me for a long ass time.
No,
But
I call it pomegranate. Like,
they've been
I've
Chinese
heard the
apples.
expression before, but yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess that is what people call it.
yeah.
I never thought about it till you said it. Just
I
People in
haven't had one of
Mississippi.
those in a very long time.
is that offensive, by the way? We still can call those Chinese apples?
Well, there isn't really anything derogatory about it, right? Like,
I don't
it's
know.
offensive. It's
But
offensive.
do they
It's
come from
offensive.
China?
I don't know.
See, that's the point.
Okay.
That's like when we call Native Americans Indians. Like, no, they're Native Americans.
Hold up.
Now we got to find out. We may get canceled. Just,
that- Yeah, I think that's why, like, less people
It
have an
don't say-
issue with
it
like
don't-
the
it
Chiefs
don't
than
say
they
nothing
do
about-
the Indians.
It don't say nothing about the. It don't say nothing about China, so maybe.
oh, we in trouble.
I mean, that's always what it's been like. I mean,
Yeah, that's just what it's
Okay.
called. Now,
so we're thinking like.
I'm gonna look it up. See,
It says Middle
Well,
East, mostly
pineapples don't come from
Mediterranean,
pine trees, so
Mediterranean, Middle East, and Afghanistan, India. And it's cultivated here, but that's not where they're from. So,
oh, here we go. You're okay. You're safe. I found
Where?
something
you found something. Where you find it?
on Google. I googled it real quick. I googled Chinese apples, and it says the pomegranate, one of the world's most ancient fruits, has had a long history and fascinating history. Although it probably originated in Persia, cultivation spread quickly through the Mediterranean and throughout Arabia, Afghanistan, India, and China, where it is called the Chinese apple. There you go.
Word.
Good.
Vindication, motherfuckers.
They call it the Chinese apple in China, so it is acceptable. There you go.
So they
Alright.
just they were like, we know this comes from everywhere else, but we're taking this. This is now the Chinese apple.
It's like what Americans do with everything. We take shit that's already invented and just call it our own name.
Right? Let's be honest about this. Like I mean this the problem with us is like anything that we call American, for the most part didn't really originate here, because none of us originated here.
Yeah.
The only people that originated here, we've kind of snuffed out.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, the Native Americans, which they called Indians.
Right. Yeah,
No.
we call them Indians because dumbass Christopher Columbus thought he was an Indian.
Yeah. They're not Indians.
Right. I know one of my coworkers is part Native American and she calls herself an Indian. But you know, she's also
What 1/16?
I don't know her makeup, but she passes for a white lady and she acts as if she's a white lady.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she's a Trump supporter, like, you know, all this.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So and she's a supporter of the Confederate monuments.
Oh, yeah. It don't get no whiter than that.
Yeah.
You just hit no white bingo.
Yeah, she watches all of those. She used to watch these videos all the time. All of the weird black people that we don't claim, like those two twin dudes were like super Republican. I don't know their name.
Oh, the H, the Hodge brothers, I think, or something like that.
I don't know, but like I knew when I saw them to avoid that video. And like
I know too many white people.
And like Candace Owens and stuff like that. She used to watch their videos and shit all the fucking time.
At work?
I mean, yeah, because my job, I work for a moving company, but I work in the office. So like, I'm sitting there waiting for the phone to ring or for an email to come in for me to deal with and try to quote a move so I can book it. Like that type of thing. That's what the majority of my job is. So
a
like
bold thing to watch it work.
there's a ton of downtime. I watch all kinds of shit. Like I finished the season of The Witcher today at work.
See, that's understandable to me. That makes sense to me. Like watching The Witcher TV show.
But it's all like Facebook stuff. Like we all are all on like Facebook and shit all fucking day. And she's a Facebook Republican. Like she doesn't actually vote, but she's a Facebook Republican. So that's where she's getting her information from.
But that's what she wrote with. It's wild that people like. If I worked in an office where there are a lot of different people there, I wouldn't be watching stuff with my political views on it because I don't want people.
But the office staff, the actual office staff, as opposed to the guys that go out and actually do the job, there's 5 of us.
Okay.
So they don't. We're not dealing with we're not like a huge. It's not like a huge office. Like what I mean. Like it's 5 of us.
But even so, I'll be like, if it's 5 of us there, and I can see you watching all these Trump ass videos, I'm gonna look at you a little crazy. Like what the fuck?
Well, I don't share hardly anything about myself at work when it comes.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my point.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm like, people might think I'm satanic or something because I listen to metal and shit.
I'm gonna tell you how different I am at work. My coworkers think I'm quiet.
Oh, okay. They're clearly wrong.
Clearly. But yeah, my coworkers think I'm quiet. I don't share a whole lot. I share some, like, I'm part of conversations, but for the most part, like everybody else got a whole bunch of shit going on. So I'm just kind of the motherfucker that just let people talk. Like,
let me ask you this: do they think you're a safe black person? Is that what they think? Like us?
No.
Or they think you're a scary black person?
Because I share bits of myself, but I do tell people like, yo, when I'm not at work, nigga, I say nigga all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just the type of motherfucker I am. Like, I'm just like, nah. Like I'm different. I'm different here. And I got a coworker who is like just loud and obnoxious and all of these things, right? And I tell them all the time, he's a Virgo, just like I am. And I tell them all the time, I am him at home. Like that, like what you are witnessing right now, that's me at home. Like I don't do this here because I separate myself. Like I don't even think of myself in the same way when I'm at work. I am, there ain't no Scarfinger there, ain't no Michael there. I am Mike at so and so job when I am at that job. Like it's like the ultimate in code switching, but yes, like I said, my coworkers think I'm quiet.
Well, let me tell you a funny story about that since you mentioned it.
Okay.
So, I work in a property management company, kind of family owned. That's the best way to describe it. And me and my grandma have been working together now since 2012. And grandmothers, she needs help. That's why I'm working it because she's in her 80s now, so she don't want to retire. She needs somebody help. I'm not person who would be willing to help her stay with her and run the business. But I digress. So working with my grandmother, I'm a kind of quiet person. Not because because I like to be bothered. So my grandmother hasn't for a long time seen all the sides of me. What I mean by that is she don't know that I have a temper in terms of like I'm cool 90% of the time, but when you cross the line with me, you cross the line. Like really cross the line and I will fuck you up.
It's grandma. Like grandma ain't supposed to see that side of you. Like
exactly.
Unless somebody trying to do something to grandma, then that's the only time grandma is supposed to see that side of you. But
now we get to that.
Okay.
So there was a time not too long ago in here. Well, it was a while back now. Somebody came in here talking crazy to grandma. And people think because I'm quiet and I wear glasses, I won't fuck you up.
Before you said it, I was thinking it was like people think because I'm quiet, I won't fuck you up. But like, be clear.
Yeah. So, dude, getting loud at the counter because we have like it's a rent office, so we have like a bulletproof glass and all that stuff there, so nobody can't act crazy. He's screaming, he yelling. I calmly get up. My grandma like, we should call the police. I'm like, no, fuck that. I get up and say, yo, my man, what the fuck you said? Who you talking to? He said, look, let me explain something right now. I got real low. I will come over there and fuck you up in a way that you can't imagine. So keep running your mouth. And he saw the look on my face, and he got ready to say something, and we have like a bat in this office. I grabbed the bat, started walking towards the exit, and he's like, oh shit, this dude is crazy. And my grandmother said, and he ran. He ran. And like left.
I mean, brother, grab a bat, like, you know what I mean? If you ain't got no weapon, like.
Yeah. He came, now when he comes to pay the rent, the next time he came in, matter of fact, he called me that day, profusely apologizing. Like, yo, I didn't know you was going to snap like that. And my grandmother looked at me like the whole time, like, I didn't really realize how violent you could be sometimes. Like, no, it's only so
that wasn't violence. That was the threat of violence. Yeah. But I need to make this clear that violence can happen.
Yeah.
And it's only can happen to you.
It's only so much you're gonna say in my presence before I fuck you up. And I'm the type of person who won't even say nothing. While everybody yelling and screaming, I just quietly get up, beat the shit out of you, and go sit back down. And it'll be really bad. So I try not to get angry, but yeah, it happens. Like, yeah. And she saw that side, like, yeah, please don't get this boy back. Because he is far worse than anybody I can think of in my family.
I rarely I let a lot of stuff roll. I'm not a person that like even really gets upset a lot.
I don't either.
But when I get upset, when I get upset, hell is coming with me. Like wherever I'm going, hell is coming with me. Like I'm really kind of I'm way more of a live and let live type of dude. But like disrespect will not be tolerated.
Yeah. I'm 100% on that tip. Like, I will let shit slide. I'll let shit slide until it gets to a point where I'm like, all right, you got to get fucked up. And when I'm fuck you up, it's going to be something you're going to remember. Like,
right.
Yeah, so let me ask you something. What would you do if someone on a podcast put you and Chris Hansen in the same sentence and did that same thing to you?
That they did to Dev? Oh no, I'll take that with stride. I found that funny. I appreciate that Dev is a good person. With a little behind the scenes, I knew that was going to happen.
Okay.
Because Donnie sent me that video a couple of days earlier, and then after that happened, after we all discussed, after the episode ended and stuff like that, we talked about it, and Donnie was like, "I didn't want to do it to you." Because I didn't know what your response would be. And I said, yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, you know.
Like that's putting me in the same sentence with R. Kelly. And that is not something that we can do.
Yeah.
I was like, it was funny, but I was like, man, that's fucked up.
It is, but
I try to be funny, and I can be funny, and I can joke on people, like you know, like Chase is my punching bag. Like I have no problems with you know fucking with Chase and all this kind of stuff. But like joking on somebody and just being cruel, that sounds like cruel to me, and I won't go cruel.
It is, but
and
that's
it's not like
relationship.
Yeah, I know, but it's so crazy that it's not like he like had someone pose and act like Chris Hansen. He got Chris Hansen to do it.
Yeah, he got the Chris Hansen.
Whoa.
Yeah, it wasn't like a makeup Chris Hansen. It was Chris Hansen with the whole thing, the video. Like, it was wild. Funny as fuck.
That sounds like that's a line. And like, did you just cross the line here?
Like, that's their relationship. They're really, Donnie and Dev are really close, so it makes sense for them to have that interaction.
But you get painted as the habitual line stepper.
Yeah, I do. It's because I'm honest. It's not like they I say shit that I jokingly say it, but I'm true to myself when I go on the podcast. Like here,
No,
like I
no, no. I'm gonna tell you something. Like a while ago, when y'all were having a conversation about Halloween candy, I signed up for the Discord just so I can fight on behalf of Candy Corn. Like we, like sometimes don't front on my Candy Corn, dog. Like I was saying, like there's a lot of stuff I can let go. Like I said, I will fight. I will fight for my Candy Corn. And matter of fact, I've had bags of candy corn twice in the past 2 weeks because the Family Dollar's already started putting out their Halloween shit. So I've had some Harvest Mix twice. With some peanuts, of course. You put some peanuts in there with the candy corn.
Wait,
In there.
if you're eating candy corn, why are you worrying about what soda you drinking?
That's a good point.
Because
candy corn is way sweeter than soda.
Because it's in moderation. Like I can easily like control how much candy corn I eat. Like if I'm not paying attention and I'm just drinking something, like most of the time if I'm drinking something, that shit gone, and I'm like, where the fuck did my soda go? Like that, like you know what I mean? So that's a situation.
I mean, I can see that.
But let me ask this then: why not just buy the small cans of soda, like the little 8-ounce cans?
No, fuck that. Because that's some dumb shit like my daughter wants me to buy sometimes. Like she'd be like, yeah, I want these little cans. And I'm like, yo, it's $2.50 for this little can. It's $2.89 for the full size fucking cans. Like, why are we doing this?
I mean, I like that
you,
for liquor. Like I would definitely get 3 of those little bottles and be like, this is $3, and I'm going to moderate myself, and this is like 3 shots, and I'm good. Like loose for the podcast or whatever.
Well, you know, I don't drink very much, so
right. But like,
you did. Was that the last podcast that you did? You did a couple of those?
Yeah, because well, I normally don't do liquor, but we had those left over for the hot toddies, and I was like, I'll go ahead and finish these off. But I was like thinking after I did that, for one, they were really good, and then I was like, man,
I don't drink. What's a hot toddy?
Hot toddy is more for when you're sick, but it's like honey and tea and some bourbon, and you drink it hot.
Heard that before? Yeah, I never heard it with that name.
Yeah,
I've heard people use bourbon to drink when they're sick to make them feel better. Yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah, I mean, like what is it? Is it bourbon or what is it like when your baby is teething? You put a little bit on your finger, rub it on.
That's bourbon. Yeah, it's bourbon.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned that to me the other day. That's why I know that. Okay. Somebody told me they had a kid and they were like, the kid's teething. And they said, I'm going to put bourbon on their tongue. Like, sure you want to do that? Look, turn this kid to an alcoholic so early.
I'm not much of a drinker, but like,
I don't drink at all.
Like I said, it's extremely rare for me to drink. I've had a bottle of wine in my fridge for over a year. I bought it because someone else was having my coworker, her husband had cancer, and like the wine was like something that he could actually do. So he had a party where you just brought a bottle of wine for him. But I'm like, yo, if I'm buying a bottle of wine for somebody else, I might as well buy one for myself. So I bought one, and like I gave him his, and then mine has just been sitting in the fridge.
Well, wine's not like beer and stuff, so it gets it can sit on the shelf like that,
Right. And then there's some wine stuff that I kind of want to buy. It's like one of those Sutter Home things. It's a big ass bottle. It's like $9 in Walmart, but it's wine, but it's like lemonade.
Okay.
They got one of those, and they got one that's an iced tea. I don't really care about the iced tea, but the lemonade one. Every time I walk past that bitch, I'm like, I'm gonna buy that bitch one day.
You could put the lemonade one in the iced tea one.
That's a good point.
Yeah, my daughter loves Arnold Palmer's. It's cool.
I'm thinking about this now, because why not just buy lemonade?
I mean,
Just
it
lemonade.
just looked cool.
I
It
guess
just
you
looked
can buy
cool.
lemonade and put some, vodka or something in it, but wine. But that, if you wanted,
I've seen people do some dumb shit lately. They're putting Kool-Aid packets in Simply Lemonade, and I'm like, I can't do that.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I've seen these videos on the Facebook, the short videos, like the TikTok Facebook videos, whatever the fuck those things are called.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, people have been putting a packet of Kool-Aid inside some Simply Lemonade, and I'm like, I can't do that.
I
Like,
can't. I can't.
I'm not gonna besmirch some Simply Lemonade. Like, I'm not gonna. That's like using Polynesian sauce on inferior chicken. Like, that's not something that we could do. Like, I would not. I refuse. I refuse to use Polynesian sauce on anything other than Chick-fil-A. Like, nothing else comes close. So, like, even if I make some chicken at home, or if I get some nuggets from somewhere else, and I ain't get the right sauce, then I'm just assed out because I'm not putting no Polynesian sauce on anything other than Chick-fil-A. That's some bullshit, and I'm not gonna tear up my fucking Simply Lemonade by putting fucking Kool-Aid in it.
You
Well,
know,
I get the
I've only
lemonade thing, but Scar does have some weird stipulations on it. But
Nah, dog. Everything else get regular sweet and sour sauce. Only Polynesian sauce only go on Chick-fil-A, dog. It don't go on nothing else.
I've only had
It don't.
Chick-fil-A one time and it wasn't good. But I don't blame Chick-fil-A for that. I blame DoorDash for that
Okay.
because I think the Chick-fil-A is too far from my house,
Okay.
and
So by the
and
time
this
it got to you,
I think this was like in the early days of DoorDash. What I don't think they still had it all together. Like I don't think they had like the insulated food bags and stuff like that.
I've only used Grubhub, and normally it'll say how far the place is from your house, and it'll try to like put the things that are close to you like up to the top. So if you keep scrolling, you're gonna find something that might be 20 miles away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was one because Chick-fil-A is not too far from me. I want to say it's like 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away. But it's just, I guess it was,
and Chick-fil-A is good, but it's not that good for me to drive 20 fucking minutes.
yeah, I never had Chick-fil-A. It was one of those, it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday. No, it wasn't a Sunday. It was Saturday.
Well, it could have been a
And,
Sunday.
yeah, that's what I thought about it. It was a Saturday.
If it was a
It was
Sunday, you got Chick-fil-A, then you got some Chick-fil-A from Saturday.
day old Chick-fil-A.
You got some
Chick-fil-A.
day old
Yeah, it was a Saturday. And we were like, well, there's nothing to eat right now, so let's order some DoorDash. Like, fuck it, let's order DoorDash. And we was like, Chick-fil-A. I never had Chick-fil-A before. They have like the waffle fries and stuff like that. So I ordered everybody like a Chick-fil-A meal and stuff like that. And we're like, oh, okay, look. Waiting for it to come. It finally got it. Like, oh, this is kind of fucking mid. Because I didn't know, like you're saying about the sauce and stuff. I didn't know like the routine of what people order on the Chick-fil-A food. So I just ordered what they had. Like, the sandwiches and stuff like that. I'm like, okay. It was very lackluster.
I put Polynesian on the sandwich, dog.
So you're saying I need to go to Chick-fil-A and get the Polynesian sauce and stuff like that. Okay.
It's kind of like a sweet and sour, but it's different. It's not like it's
Yeah,
different.
it's something about that Nesian, dog. Like that Nesian, bruh. Like
Do I need to go in there with a Bible in my hand?
it's no, I wouldn't say so. I mean,
You need to go in there with a pride flag in your hand. That's what.
it's Chick-fil-A, so like you might eat something, you might start hating the gays, but that was wrong.
I hope not. I'm very fond of the gays. They're great people.
Well, Chick-fil-A is not very fond of the gays.
They're not. They are very. That's one of the reasons why I never was interested in going. I'm like, ain't no chicken be that fucking good. Like, there's no chicken can be that good to make me like question my morals.
And
like
then, and then a lot of people have similar issues with Hobby Lobby.
See, I heard Hobby Lobby has the same thing, and I never went to Hobby Lobby anywhere, so like, I don't give a shit. Hobby Lobby is one of those things where like I can live my whole life not even knowing this shit exists, and I live most of my life not knowing this was a thing.
Okay, so like here's the thing, right? Hobby Lobby is not the best place on earth, but depending on what you're going to a craft store for, Hobby Lobby is much better than Michael's. because like from where I live, Hobby Lobby and Michaels are about equidistant away. If I need some painting stuff, I can go to either. Right? If I need some painting stuff, I can go to either.
So you're saying
But if I
like
need,
Michaels is like Walmart, but Hobby Lobby is like Target. It's like a little bit of step above, like quality of merchandise.
no, it purely depends on what you're going there for. Like you can there's things that they both have, and then there's things that like when I'm making like candles or something like that, I can't go to Michael's. Their selection for making candles is horrible, like
Well, when I
horrible.
was
Like
doing
it's
art
really bad.
stuff, like I hated them all. The only place I went to was kind of far from my house, which was Jerry's Artorama in Raleigh, and because everything else was just
Yeah,
like
there must be some local
beginner
shit.
shit. I needed like
Okay.
real fucking shit, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
the
yeah.
closest thing to me is Michael's, so that's one
Yeah.
place we really go to. Hobby Lobby's like out the way, and usually when I go to a place like that's for my daughter because she's like heavy into art and stuff like that. So I wouldn't go for myself. I don't even fuck about none of that stuff anymore.
I miss painting. I still got like fucking totes and totes of like paint and the supplies and
Yeah, I
shit
can't
like
make
that.
a new doom metal
I just
album
think I
because
just
you can send me no more pictures of paint for the album covers.
I mean, there's a bunch of pictures that you didn't use. So, like, have fun. Um, but yeah, I miss painting. I really do. I was a fluid artist for a long time, so that was fun.
What kind of
Yeah,
painting did you do? Curious now.
fluid, where you put something in the paint to make it fluid. You put it on the canvas and you make it. You move it around the canvas, however, in different ways to make art. I actually have a whole YouTube channel separate from this, called Peace to Colors Arts and Crafts, that I actually really want to change the name, but because the supplies for candle making are so expensive right now, and I'm not really selling a whole bunch. I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to do a whole rebrand when I'm not even buying the stuff right now because it's so expensive, and like
If you want
with
to see a
the
little,
with inflation and shit like that, it's just with inflation and shit, it's just like I got to raise my prices, and like, are people going to actually really want to pay that for?
Yeah.
here's the thing: what I did with some of his paintings, which is the album covers that I did back.
But
Okay.
we have to watch the show. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the one on the left. I think I gave that to my therapist.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was one of my
Mhm.
favorite ones too. It actually to me like has like action, like it really feels like it's actually moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to know something? You want to know something that's crazy?
What's that?
The one in the middle, I made that with the leftovers from the one on the left.
Oh,
I had
that's
I had
cool.
I had leftover paint, so I just made that one real quick.
Yeah,
I like it.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and I've sold a few, and yeah, but I just once I moved, I don't have the space for it anymore, and that really sucks
Gotcha.
because there's something I really want to make for myself. Like there's really like nothing on the walls in my house at all, like nothing. I've lived here for over a year, and there was nothing on these walls,
Wow. Yeah.
nothing. But also, I mean, I'm primarily, except for during the summer and sometimes during the year. Other than those times, I live by myself most of the time, so like, it ain't bothering me.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you live by yourself, well, what do you need?
Yeah. All right. So, what do you want to tackle first? Face.
We need some
I'll let
need
you.
some tackling fuel first.
I don't know
Tackling
what you're talking
fuel.
about.
It's chicks. You want to cover what we've been playing or what we've been watching? You know what, Delvin?
Um,
I'll let you choose. What do you want to cover first?
Let's go with what we've been watching.
Okay. As stated earlier, I finished the second. I finally finished the second season of The Witcher. I like it. I don't like it nearly as much as the first season.
Okay. I got to get through the first season. I'm like halfway through the first season. I kind of fell off. I feel like something came out around the time the first season of Witcher came out, and I didn't get back to the show.
Yeah, yeah, and so I finished that, and so I got that knocked off the list, so I can finally move on to something else. I know. She-Hulk is getting ready to start soon. We've on my other one of my other podcasts, we finished Orphan Black as we review TV shows. So we finished Orphan Black.
The whole series?
Yeah.
Okay.
We go through it episode by episode. We went through the TV show Oz. We did Playmakers, and then we did Orphan Black. So we just finished Orphan Black, and I can't remember the name of the show that we're supposed to do, and I probably should remember that because the first episode is tomorrow. But I'll probably it's a thing. I'll probably watch it at work. You know what I mean?
Do y'all take recommendations?
We can, but it's been like we rotate between the three of us which one chooses. So like Rashani chose the first one because Brandon had never seen it, and they do a separent movie review podcast where they watch movies. So they started talking about it, and they were talking about Oz, and then we went with my choice, which was Orphan Black. But in between, Rashani wanted to do Playmakers, which it was only a season. The old ESPN show Playmakers. So it was only a season, so we chose that. And then I know Brandon wants to do several shows because the shows that we picked have had multiple seasons. So he's just going to pick like 3 different shows. 2 of them only have 1 season, and 1 of them has 2 seasons to kind of spice things up a little bit. But if it's something but like when it comes back around to me, you never know. What do you want? What do you suggest?
Luther.
I watched early Luther, and I don't know why I stopped watching Luther. I think because Luther is one of those shows that they'll like a new season is out. It's 3 episodes.
Yes.
And then it'd be like 3 years, and then they put out another season.
Exactly.
2 episodes.
Yes. I love the show.
That can be an idea. That can be an idea. You know what? I'll keep that in mind. I'll use that for one of the in betweens, because it's not very long.
Yeah, because it's like you said, the season is like 3-4 episodes.
Mm-hmm. I was watching Misfits with my daughter because I went back and started watching Misfits. Misfits is an old British show. Yes. And they had a song, and the song was playing, and I was like, I fucking know that song. Why do I know that song? So I waited to the credits. So I looked up a thing on IMDb. Sometimes they have listed the music that's in the episode. And so I looked up the song, and it was the Luther theme song, and that's why I knew that song.
Yeah, I love the Luther theme song. It's by I can't remember the name of the group now. I bought the theme song, and it's on my phone. At one point, it was my ringtone. Paradise, I want to say something. Paradise.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a couple weeks since that happened. So, but I looked that up, and I was like, I know this song. Why do I know this song? And then that's what it was. But yeah, I really enjoyed Luther. I don't know why I stopped watching it. I really like the crazy chick.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember her name right now. The song Paradise Circus and Massive Attack. That's the name of the group.
Yeah. Massive Attack, and Massive Attack also is the theme song for
I
House,
love
right?
Massive Attack.
Yes.
Especially the album Mezzanine. That album's fantastic.
I don't think I know most of there.
It has a beetle in the cover.
I only know those 2 songs. I know the Luther song, and I know the House theme song.
Yes, both great songs.
Why I need to bring some Massive Attack for the reactions then, because that album's phenomenal.
I thought you was bringing Bjork.
I can bring that too. I mean, all that stuff's pretty related to the kind of like trip hoppy. I love trip hop, but the one thing, if you could say something is dated, trip hop is dated as fuck. If anything sounds like the 90s and will always sound like the 90s, trip hop is that. It sounds
No
like
idea what
something
you're
that's going to
talking about.
play in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the Bronze. That's what. But stuff like Portishead, Sneaker Pimps, Massive Attack. But
Okay.
The only thing I know about Portishead is it's a disease in 2 Point Hospital.
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
They must be
That's
Portishead is
Portishead
brilliant.
fans.
Portishead is a disease in 2 Point
I,
Hospital. Yeah.
I love it when I find little like Easter eggs like that to where you notice someone has made a reference to something they like. I just found that in one of the games I've been playing too. So
Cool.
Well, I mean the 2 Point games, they're made overseas, so they have a lot of references that I absolutely don't get, but I just roll with it anyway. Like, what I mean, and then like they have obvious references, especially like the disease Mockstar, is exactly that they have Mockstar because they walk in looking like Freddie Mercury. Mockstar, like shit like that. And then there's another one where people look like Elvis. Like me, I love 2 Point Hospital. I'll talk about 2 Point Campus when we get to video games. Um, I think those two are the most that I've watched, but it doesn't count as watching, but it is a series. Um, I started listening to a a kind of audio show called Power Trip.
Okay.
And is another thing because of course with Orphan Black and with She-Hulk incoming, I'm kind of on a Tatiana Maslany kick. So is a show. She's the main character in Power Trip, and she's one of the executive producers. And it's about this chick who gets I think it's a kidney transplant, and it gives her the power of suggestion.
Oh,
And then like then she realizes that this thing it's different because like she starts meeting other people with powers, and it kind of goes from there. But yeah, she has the power of suggestion. She can say stuff to people, and they'll do it. So
that's a
it's
pretty
been
cool power.
it's been really interesting so far. You can find it wherever you find podcasts because it's just a podcast at this point. But yeah, I really like it. And then of course, if you watch Orphan Black, the next chapter, you can get those 2 seasons on podcasts. And those are really good. The first season is read completely by her. She is all of the characters, including the men. And the second season, they bring in some of the actors from the show to be who they were
That's
in the
dope.
show. Yeah. Yep. So I'm a fan of hers, and I am going to look past the crappy CG for She-Hulk and just enjoy her performance.
Yeah, I think that's best for everybody. Just enjoy the performance and see where to take the story.
Right.
I'm interested in She-Hulk. She-Hulk looks like it's gonna be cool, despite this crappy CGI.
All right. What have you been watching, Devin? We'll get to Chase later. Chase always watch weird shit.
Watching one show mainly. I'm watching Sandman on Netflix. Have you guys heard of or watched this?
It's coming up. It's coming up soon. I have watched someone do YouTube videos about the comics, but I have not watched the show yet. But I want to. I'm going to get into that real soon.
yeah, I just know of the comics. I haven't watched the show yet either.
It is a fascinating watch. I want to say I'm almost through. I'm on episode 7, and it gets like if you read the comics, it gets really dark and deep into the philosophies of life and different kind of situations. And I'm enjoying the show. I don't know, enjoying is a strong word to use for a show like this because
Do they
some
take
points
a
it gets.
Do they take a different path with it because it's a TV show like The Boys did?
At some points it does, but not really. It still touches the same elements of the comic books and things like that. And I think it gets dark. It gets really. There's one episode. I don't want to spoil it, but it was rough. I want to say it's episode 6. It was and it to not like I said. I don't want to spoil it, but it talks about death in a very interesting way. If you read the comic books, you probably know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And the way it kind of gets into that is, and the way they show you it visually at points, it's rough. Like it's
Okay.
really like, oh my god, like this is. It touches on some really dark, deep things, and I'm like, this is a really fascinating show. Like, but I highly recommend it, but at the same time, I have to let people know, like, if you know nothing about Sandman, don't go on it thinking, because it's a Vertigo property, it's a DC property. So people hear
Right.
DC, they think, oh, it's gonna be superheroes, boom, bap, bam. No, this is not that type of show.
Well, people see
It's
that a
very
lot too, where they'll see, because unlike Marvel, DC does publish things that aren't like in the DC universe,
yes,
and
and this is very much that. So it's a lot of things you're gonna see.
But,
It's not
but also,
very
Lucifer was DC, right?
yes.
So yeah,
Constantine, who's well, I guess this is a small spoiler. It's not really a spoiler. Constantine is in the show.
is it the Constantine from the DC TV shows?
No,
Is it? It's not Matt Ryan.
no, it's a character. They changed the character. It's a different. It's a woman actually.
Wow. Okay.
So and so it touches on little things like that. It's a very good show. If you can stomach some of the darker themes in terms of certain things they do with it, because it gets dark. It gets really dark, and I like that it's really dark, and I like that it's touching on things that are very serious, and it's touching, heartwarming, sometimes touching, gut wrenching things. And I'm enjoying the story. I highly recommend it. It's fascinating. It looks amazing. Like it looks like the comics, and that says a lot because the comics itself look very trippy and weird and kind of interesting and fascinating. So it makes you want to stare at the art. The show kind of brings that to the big screen,
Word.
and I like that aspect of it. So, Sandman's the one. Definitely check it out.
I will.
You
Yeah,
said
I'll definitely
that's
check
pretty
that
much
out.
the only thing you've been watching.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've been watching.
Okay.
7 episodes so far. It's a they don't feel it feels like when I watch them, episodes just fly by. They don't feel as long. Like when I watched that Stranger Things last season, those episodes felt like they dragged on.
But they were all over an hour.
Yeah, they were like long. They felt like all of them feel like movies, but this doesn't feel like that at all. I think each one of these episodes are an hour. It doesn't feel like that. They feel like 30 minutes. So stuff happens in the episodes and it feels like it matters, so it doesn't feel as strenuous as watching other shows. So definitely check it out.
Word up. Chase, what you got for me?
Yeah, I haven't really been watching much either. I mean, I said kind of what I was watching on the game night, which well, I just only thing I really watched was I went back and watched Beverly Hills Cop. Like I was like I kind of wanted something that I knew that I've seen a million
Great movie.
times, and it's kind of
Say yo baby, yo. Say ow.
No, I ain't
Yeah.
falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
but
But
yeah, on the pot.
that movie has some problematic parts though.
Oh yeah,
Now these days,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the '80s, so the
yeah.
the thing is, when the theme song was hitting, when it was, I was just thinking, man, there's so many like kids and people that weren't. I wouldn't say I was like an older person in the '80s, but like that didn't grow up with that movie, probably think that theme song came from wherever they heard it, because it's all over the place.
Fortnite. Some shit like that.
Yeah, these fucking kids think everything came from Fortnite. It's just like,
Yeah.
like I had a conversation with my daughter like years ago with Fortnite and the fucking dances and shit. She was like, "Oh yeah, those are Fortnite dances." I was like, you do realize these dances existed before Fortnite, like so,
Yeah,
like these dances existed, and then they put them in Fortnite. They don't exist because of Fortnite.
Yeah, it's weird that they can just take in Destiny as well. All these games that have like emotes can just take dances and don't have to credit anything because you can't really copyright a dance.
Yeah,
You
yeah, you can't
Yeah.
like
copyright a dance. That's what's happening right now in the Black community. There's an issue with these people making and this was more prevalent like a few months ago, but it's these people doing this dance and it's kind of like a slide, like a foot slide while moving. And the dance, like any of us that care about marching bands, we know this is the Bethune Cookman drum major dance, and like it was just everywhere, and everyone was doing it. And then some lady had made like a Jersey club mix of the A Baby song with the beat from with a beat sample from Anniversary from Tony is weird, but she made that bitch work. But like so like that was like a thing, and a lot of people were doing the dance and stuff like that, and I was just like, yo, why couldn't Bethune Cookman lock down their shit? And that's when someone told me like you can't copyright a dance.
Yeah.
So
Crazy to think about, but yeah, that's the
yeah,
thing.
because
it's
they were talking
in
about that like years. I mean, I think we were talking about that back in like 2017 when the whole it was when like the Carlton and stuff. Because like dude that played Carlton was like, I
no,
made this
no. I'm gonna
shit
tell you.
and
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Soldier Boy, right? Soldier Boy came out with his dance, the first one, and that was like a big thing, right? Soldier Boy came out with another dance, right?
Yes.
And he called it the swag. And him and his homeboy recorded a video of them doing the dance called the swag. And we looked at that shit. It was just like, I don't know about this. Like that shit looked kind of gay. And this is what we said at the time. That's I mean I'm a more evolved human, and I'm just gonna say that it just didn't look like a cool dance. Well, somebody just changed the name of the dance, made a better song to go with it, and called it the Dougie. And the rest is history.
Yeah.
And the
That's how it
same
usually
thing.
works.
And then this one dude came out with a song, and he called it the Ricky Bobby. He did, and like he had a cool little song with it and everything. And I think the song didn't go very well. And some dudes from California just did the same dance, and they called it the Cat Daddy, and they made a whole lot of money off of that shit.
That's how it
and,
works.
yep. So like that back those two instances is why I realized that like I guess you can just take a dance and call it something else and you
Well,
good.
look at it like this. In Miami booty bass, booty shaking.
You talking about Butterfly and Tootsie Roll?
That too, but if you were an 80s kid, you know about the Two Live Crew, Pop That Coochie and all that stuff. They kind of created that type of vibe. Now you have twerking.
Yep, the same thing.
Same exact thing. You could $1 million industry. But that originated down here in Miami
Yep.
with Uncle Luke and the Two Live Crew and Poison
Now,
Clan and people like that.
you want to know what makes that whole thing worse? If you know Miami-based music, remember when crunk hit?
Yes.
The one of the architects of Miami-based music, hold on, one of the people behind the bass music and was a man named Jonathan Henry Smith. He was one of the producers, and he produced like a lot of bass music. He actually did the So Def Bass All Stars
Yeah.
album and all of this kind of stuff. And then he took that same concept, just slowed it down a bit. He created crunk, and that gentleman is now known as Lil Jon.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever been to Miami or South Florida, but there's a certain vibe around Miami, especially around the 90s, where people would buy these cars, like these 80s cars, call them dunks. That's what the term dunk riders come from.
Yeah,
And they
it depends. It depends on where you are, because the same cars in Texas are called slabs.
yes,
Like that's
yeah, and they will pull these cars out and like on the streets and like in the hood with all the speakers in the back of it, and they will play them in the projects. And when they play the music in the projects, the girls would come out there and dance. And I guess it's called twerk now, but that was like a huge thing in Miami. It's kind of a thing now everywhere now. Like you can't turn on the TV without seeing someone twerking or doing appropriating that type of culture. Like Miley Cyrus made it a big deal when she was doing it. Everybody was so shocked and appalled. Oh, look at Miley
she
Cyrus.
she had no ass, so that shit was just kind of nasty. And then like it just looked nasty. And then the fact that like when she did it at the awards, dancing with fucking what's his name, old boy from Blurred Lines, um,
Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke. Yeah, that shit just looked weird. Like, especially it looked weird because she ain't had no ass.
Yeah, because I think that's kind of a big part of twerking. You gotta have a little bit of something to twerk. But she helped popularize it to the mainstream audience and made it like recognizable to everybody now, where everybody feels like they need to do it. But that all started in Miami.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I also noticed something. You brought up cars and stuff. In Beverly Hills Cop, he was driving a Nova, and
Yes,
everybody in the movie considered that like a junker. You know,
yes,
and it reminded me in the 80s, like muscle cars were very out of fashion. Nobody wanted them. Someone had a Nova. Now, holy fucking shit. But back then,
Not,
like even
well,
the
if you got a
even
Nova
like
now,
a,
if you got a Nova now, you need some candy painting. You need to be sitting on grown folks. Like you can't just be out here. Like okay, um, candy paint. Well, we understand what candy paint is. Sitting on grown folks means that your rims are over 18.
yes.
Okay. I'm explaining this to Chase because, of course, if you got a Nova, you could be all right, but you gotta have some. You gotta have some. Your junk gotta be clean, and you gotta be sitting on grown folks at least.
Yeah.
but I mean, if you notice, like, have you seen a 80s or 90s Camaro? They don't look like muscle cars.
Yeah, that was like in the '80s. I vividly remember people a lot of like '80s and early '90s. A lot of people was in the Cadillacs. A lot of people like the luxury cars back then, like the Cadillacs, and kind of like went on like even the mid '90s to the early 2000s. They were like Escalades and SUVs and stuff like that.
You remember when a
Man,
Mustang looked like just a regular ass Toyota, like
Yes,
in the early 90s?
I remember that. They were like people wasn't into it. I want to say till '95. I want to say Mustang was like a regular ass Toyota.
I remember when SUVs became a thing. I remember. Okay, so this is back when I was younger. When when the when the drug dealers all started buying trackers,
Yes,
nigga.
I remember
Like,
those.
we was like, yo, I can't wait to get old enough to start selling drugs so I can get me a tracker, dog. The tracker or a blazer. Like
Yeah,
trackers and blazers used to be like it used to be around my way. Those are drug dealer cars.
yeah, I remember
Dude, a
this. I
Blazer
remember that.
used to look badass. Have you seen a Blazer now? It just looks like a Rav4. Like,
Yeah, they changed it up. The new
Well,
Blazers was different.
the new blazers, the new news. They're kind of like going back to kind of the older style,
Yeah,
like
okay.
they are.
the new news.
You talking about the
Like,
one that's electric?
yeah.
They got the all electric Blazer now. They look decent.
Yeah, so like yeah, the new news is going a little bit back, but like yeah, uh the Blazers they do kind of look like Rav Fours. My boss loves like Rav Fours and shit like that. He has a electric hybrid. He has a plug-in hybrid Rav Four right now.
I mean, I'm not
Oh,
knocking on Rav4. I mean, I definitely like a Rav4. I'm just saying they don't look like Blazer. When I think of Blazer, I think of a badass looking motherfucker.
yeah,
But
big
then even if
SUV.
you cared about even if you cared about Rav Fours, I don't know who it was. There was a rapper who said, "What do you think I rap for? To push a fucking Rav 4?" And
Kanye.
they instantly went out of style at that point. I keep thinking Kanye, but I don't know.
think it was
I'm gonna
Kanye.
look.
Almost.
Yeah, it was on. It was on Run This Town.
Yeah, I remember that because I just heard the song the other day.
Yeah, yeah. The Kanye said that shit, and yeah, if you want to be cool, if you want to be cool like Kanye was at that time, I mean, I'm not saying that Kanye is cool now, but if you wanted to be cool like Kanye was at that time, RAV4 is not what you want.
It's so crazy how rap has made people think that certain cars just aren't cool.
No,
Like,
it's not just cars. Like fucking Biggie said one line about Kwame and ended his career.
yeah,
His career was over. He when he tells the story, like he was up to get re-signed. He was getting ready to re-up his deal. That song came out and no one would sign him.
crazy.
And he said him and Biggie ain't even had no beef. He just put that shit in a line.
Yeah, it's so crazy how that works. Like, I remember there was a Jay-Z song where he said something about he talked about the Mercedes Benz, and he said that like I think it was the 300 is like the baby mom's car. So people just stopped buying those Mercedes. Like,
Yeah, and
God,
but what you call it said what you call it said it too. Cat Williams was instrumental in getting people off of 300s because his joke was people like a Chrysler 300 because that shit looks like a Phantom until a Phantom pulls up. But yeah, I think I know. What you call it? Do you have a 300 or a 200? I know. I know Scott used to have one of those. I know. I think he had a 300 or a 200, one of those. But yeah,
I have realized in my older age now, fuck that. I'm just gonna buy the car I want. That's fuel efficient and good for me. I'm not worried about what these rappers doing with their fake jewelry and impressing people. Like, I'm not on that no
to
more.
be honest, the way that I use my car, I might as well have a smart car. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
use my car for a lot. Like, I don't go anywhere. Like, since I moved here, all of the bills are on me. So like keeping my bills paid and all that kind of stuff. It's not like I got a lot of money to put into a car anyway. And like, I'm
When you
usually
say
by
smart
myself in the
car, you
car.
mean like a EV?
No, the smart car, like the little ass car. That looked like it just only had two seats in that bitch. The little teeny car. Um,
Oh,
Fuck
because
it.
I was thinking about an EV. Because like, if I was thinking about like the time it would get me, because we do some trips to like the mountains and stuff, and it wouldn't do too good for that unless I got a newer one. But if I got like an older Leaf or something just going to work, I'm not having to worry about
Oh,
plugging in it out there because I'm leaving home every day with a full tank. You know what I mean? Because I'm charging at home. So,
I
but I
I
went
I
against it
bought a
because of the trips.
I bought a Chevy Spark kind of for that reason. I got a 2015 Chevy Spark, which is fuel efficient,
Hmm.
and I fucking love that car. It's like fucking. I have had that car for over a month now, and I may have spent $80 in gas in total driving
My
everywhere.
my boss bought, like I said, he got a RAV4 as a plug-in hybrid, but he primarily just uses the electric part. He carries his
So it's
cable with him. He plugs it in while he at work, and he
I
basically
thought
just uses the electric.
I thought the Spark was electric.
They have an electric version and they have a fuel efficient version. I
Okay.
got the fuel efficient version. It's like I said, it works great for me. Like, I'm enjoying the car. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. My boss only uses electric unless he has to go farther than he
Oh,
said.
there's another one
It
called the
gets
Bolt. Is that one electric?
I think the Bolt is
Volt. The
electric.
Volt is 100% electric, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you finished what you've been watching? You say you ain't been watching much, right?
Right. Yeah. Just old Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Beverly Hills Cop, the first one.
All right. So what we've been playing. Um, I have played absolutely nothing but 2 Point Campus in this past week. I haven't even played the Division because Division is my shit. But I have not played the Division. I completely missed a whole ass event in the game, and I don't care because I love my tycoon games, and Two Point Campus is very much scratching that itch.
Well, you
And
played some
then,
aliens.
oh yes, we did play Aliens Fireteam Elite um, during the game night, and that's on the channel also. Um, we were just having fun, but we
Yeah, I need to
weren't
pause just a
very
second.
we,
Yeah,
we
more
weren't very
people.
successful.
Yeah, it's Friday nights around 8, same time as the podcast, so around like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, just come into Discord, man. Like we sometimes don't even play the same thing. We've lately been playing Aliens Fireteam Elite, but a lot of the times we're just hanging out, and it's a good time. Like if you guys want to like just come hang out, we're
And the
definitely.
only reason why we don't play the same games all the time is because Chase and Blue are PC elitists, and that game just happens to be crossplay. That is
Gotcha.
all. That is all. But yeah, we played Fireteam Elite. We weren't doing very well, but we were still having fun.
That's good. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Left 4 Dead with in the Aliens franchise. Like
Oh,
that's all it
someone
really
said
is.
something. Think of it like a Division or a Destiny as well. You're gonna need to do a little bit of that grinding to get that gear level up. It is a little bit of a looter shooter, but not as much as Division or Destiny. But you want to get
I wouldn't say so because like it's not because I wouldn't call it a looter shooter because the loot for the most part doesn't drop.
right. I wouldn't either, but if you're trying to like, if you're getting stuck on things, you might need to think of it a little bit closer to that than like Left 4 Dead because in Left 4 Dead, you finish No Mercy, you can go right on to um, the sewers, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about grinding No Mercy. But this, you might need to do that a little bit because you're trying to get your that whatever they call it. They call it some. Every game calls it something different, but you know what it means. That number.
Right. So yeah. Um yeah, I don't think I have much to say about Two Point Campus. It's the next in the 2 Point series, except for you're running a school instead of running a hospital this time.
Is it
Um
fun?
Well,
and for me it's very fun. And it's different. It's the same type of game, but it's different
yeah, I was thinking
in the
like, what's
way.
the hook? Like when 2 Point Hospital, people are coming in with they're sick. When 2 Point Campus, what is that?
I think the it's the classes. The classes are not just normal classes. You know what I mean? Like, it's the gastronomy classes, was the cooking class, and like you're it's like these huge things, and like you're making like this huge pizza or this huge hamburger or like something like that. Like, and then like your one class, the robotics class, you're building a giant fucking robot, and once the robot is built, it just kind of flies off, and then they start over. And like it eventually you get to night school, which is basically actually nights with a K, and like, and then there's another one. The one that I'm getting ready to start soon is the place called Spiff and More, which is the basically Harry Potter. Um,
Fedor.
yeah, and then there's one that's focused on like a sports class, whereas there's stuff like later on. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get to that, but there's one where you're training like archaeologists, and it's like an Indiana Jones type class.
Okay.
And then there's another one where you're training spies. It's all kinds of stuff, and then like, and not only are you just like sending these people to school, but like they're building relationships. Like they have a thing where like you put items like different benches and interaction points where if they're there with another person, they build up friendships, and sometimes, and depending on the situation, like they can build relationships. And it's like it like actual like romantic relationships and all that kind of stuff. So like you're doing all of this stuff, and like it differs from hospital in that way. Like you have like a school year, and like the like things that you have to do during those school years to try to get uh, bring in more money so you can buy more things. There's a lot of like mini like quests where these people, they need to complete assignments, so they will ask you is like, hey, um, can I get a microscope in the science lab? And it's like it's really huge fucking microscope. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not just not like little things, but it's like, can I get a microscope in the science lab because I need to complete this assignment. So you have to build up your kudosh, which is the different. It's a currency that you use to buy things to upgrade things. And like, so you have to make sure that you have enough kudos so they can do their assignments and all this kind of stuff. And you get, the more they level up, the more money you get from them. You have revenue from like your dorms and stuff like that. Dorms is completely different than it would be in real life. It's like 5 people to a bed. You know what I mean? So
like jail.
nah, it's like they kind of take turns. Like, there's no like
Jail
night.
cell like jail.
There's no like night. So like it's like constantly going. And so it's really cool. Like you can build up all kinds of stuff. Like you can have like a student union and like put a fucking stage in that shit, and you can have people come and perform and like all kinds of shit that you can do. You can your lecture halls, like all of the things, all of the classes need lecture hall, but like when the lecture hall is not going, you can show movies, and that like satisfies some people's wants and needs and stuff like that. It's all kinds of stuff that you can do that's different from like hospital. Hospital was basically just really running a hospital, and people come in with these weird ass fucking it was, I mean, Two More Hospital is really the spiritual successor to Theme Hospital. Like that's basically what it was, and apparently some of the same people or were on the team at 2 Point. This is just something. This is something different. It works similarly, but not close enough that you can call them the same thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like the difference between Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster,
Gotcha.
which are two games that I watch people play those games, but like the level of detail that people put into those games is like I don't think I'll ever play that.
Well, like Planet Coaster and stuff.
Yeah, that shit can get real complicated. And like how people do to design those things, like to design um their zoos and all that kind of stuff, and even just enclosures. It's like, holy fuck, man, there's some really creative ass people out there that can do some real cool things, and I don't think I'm ever gonna be on that level.
Mm.
So, but I haven't played very much because my daughter, of course, was here for the summer. She didn't bring her Xbox, so now she is using my Xbox One. And if she's playing anything that she didn't buy herself, I can't use my Series S because she got to have my profile active in order to use the stuff that I have. So, fuck me on that one. But yeah, man, I'm really enjoying the game. And then of course I did play As Dusk Falls, but we'll probably talk about that in a minute. I'll let Chase go first, and then we can talk.
Gotcha.
All right, cool. Yeah. Same with the Aliens Fireteam Elite. We've already really touched on that. I had actually for the YouTube channel thinking about adding some more content, so I went back and I'm gonna do a long play. Or I am doing a long play, which I guess is kind of like a let's play, but you don't talk and it's like the whole game, I guess. But and I'm doing that of the game
That's just
Fear.
broadcasting the game. Like, can you do that?
Can I do
I
it?
think you can.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I did. I, I was bored one day and I watched. a condensed version of someone playing through the Division 1. It was like 6 hours, and I watched the whole thing.
Oh, that's all it takes to play through that game? 6 hours?
No. They cut some stuff out. They cut all of the side stuff out. It was
Okay.
just they put it just on the actual main missions of the game.
But yeah, that's gonna be Fear, the first encounter Assault Recon. It came out in 2005, so it was like right before the 360, but it ended up getting released on the 360. But it was released on PC first,
I
and
actually have those, I think.
I really like them. I mean, it's probably hard for if someone didn't play them before to go back. Well, at least the first one because it's so old. But to me, it's still like super fun because it deals with like time manipulation and all that stuff. And if you're dealing with time manipulation, you're already like, I'm gonna shoot this dude with a shotgun, but it's super slow, and he's gonna like go, "Brrr," and it makes me
I
laugh.
I watched someone trying to explain the story of the Fear franchise, and I
The
was like,
Fear story is
this shit
fucked
is
up.
convoluted as fuck. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
wow. Like I
I
don't.
I wouldn't say it's convoluted, but it's definitely fucked up.
Yeah.
Little
Like,
weird girl just
What's
stares at you,
what's the chick name?
cause
Alma.
fires. Yeah.
But
yeah,
I also watched it. I also watched a bunch of stuff on the Horizon series because I don't think I'll ever play those games.
it is not. It's on
That
PC,
shit. That shit.
but the
That
game
shit's
is,
coming.
at least the second one. What happens at the end of the second one is not PC, even though it was released on PC. But
Are you
anyway,
eventually going to do for 3?
well, actually, I have did that one before, which I might just do that again. But that was with Fred Rojas. We did it for Extra Life. We just played the whole game over a night, like just straight up, and that was really fun because that's a co-op game. So the other games aren't co-op, but that one you play as the bad guy in the first one. You team up in the third one, and one of you has to play him, and one of you has to play the main character. So
Interesting.
it's cool because the bad guy is a ghost. So unless you're like you can possess the enemy team members and just like shoot them in the back and stuff. So it kind of got shit on, but every game that's the third one always gets shits on, right? So and I thought it's a lot better than people made it out to be, especially if you play in co-op. I could see it not being very good if you play it by yourself, but I've always played it in co-op because even when the game first came out, me and Amber co-opted it together, like you know, all like because it was split screen on the 360. But
Okay.
Ooh.
I played a little bit of Destiny, not too much, but the season's almost over, so we were like, we kind of need to wrap up some stuff. So, but it's been a minute since I played some Destiny. But most of that's just because I've been sick and all that stuff, and just not been feeling like playing something as intense as a game like that, you know. So I've mostly been playing Valheim, which is how I play it is super relaxing and to where I'm not really. And I've been mostly playing with my brother, and that's who pretty much got me into the game. And we just have a world that's just me and him, and we just been doing the thing.
Word.
Doing and I went back and played Silent Hill 3. That's the thing I was wanting to talk about. How people like put inspirations in their game. Let me bring up the thing real quick. I
Which one is Silent Hills 3?
That's the one where you play the little girl from the first one, but she's
Gotcha. Okay.
she's a teenager or a young adult, I guess. But she still does that crap. Here we go. All right. The I've only played that game once, and a little story about that is that I really wanted it, and that was back in 2003. I paid for that game in quarters at Target. I remember it so clear, and me and my friend went and I got it in quarters, and then went back and we basic controller passed. Well, this game is highly inspired by this movie called Session 9, which I have up on the screen. And there's a scene with a wheelchair that's just sitting there. Well, the whole movie is like this crew just going in to like get rid of asbestos out of this mental asylum, and because they've shut it down because they're going more therapeutic with group homes and things like that. So this was one of the ones, and then atmospheric ghosty shit starts happening. But the the whole game is kind of inspired by the movie, but then in the game, that's a screenshot from the game I took. It pretty much is the same fucking thing as the cover of the movie.
That shit done. Let me look this up
But
so I can watch this.
yeah, it's a good movie, man. It's a little slower, but it's a very good movie. Lots of really creepy atmosphere.
Okay.
It's by the
Got
same director or writer as the movie The Machinist. I don't know if you ever saw that with Christian Bale, where he got all fucking skinny and shit.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, but
I've heard
That
but
of
was a
yeah,
it.
pretty decent movie.
I've
but
heard
yeah,
of it, but I don't.
but it's so
I mean,
crazy.
it's just like that movie that 50 Cent got really super skinny for, and then ain't nobody seen it.
Yeah.
Um,
He thought he was
is
going to win
the
an Oscar.
is the Machinist the movie where he had the outburst?
No,
Um,
that was Terminator Salvation.
Oh yeah, when he went off. Okay,
I remember that one very vividly because it was hilarious as fuck.
but
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a Terminator film since 3.
yeah, I haven't even seen three. I
That,
haven't seen the
that's not.
Terminator film
That's
since
not.
two.
God bless you both, because yeah. Well, Dark Faith is okay. I know people. The last two were not too bad, but there are some really bad.
I want to
Terminator
play that
movies.
game, that Resistance game. I heard that's actually pretty good, but I haven't played it yet.
And
Yeah, it's fun.
I watched a little bit of the TV show, but of course, the TV show had old girl in it, and any show that she's in gets canceled.
But
Which oh girl, talk about.
Um, what's her name? Summer Glau.
Oh yeah,
Anything that Summer Glau, any TV show that Summer Glau plays in gets canceled. Like
it's true.
it don't last. Look, she plays in some shit. It don't last very long at all. Thank goodness she was only in one episode of Angel before she fucked that whole thing up.
I didn't
but
realize that till you said that. Yeah,
yeah, what's crazy is that remember I said I haven't played it since it came out. I don't know why I haven't played. I played two a lot, because I really love that game. But then three, I only played it once. So when I'm playing it now, I remember the first part, and I remember the mall, and then I remember the park. The park is like the end of the fucking game. So there's all this shit. And I'm like, I don't remember this shit at all. So it's like I'm playing a new game. And and playing on PC with the emulator, you can like, render it at like 4K and shit. So it looks great for like a PS2 game. And so I've been enjoying myself at that shit. And people say that Silent Hill is tank controls. Silent Hill is not tank controls. It's
I don't.
it's tank controls is when like Resident Evil. When Silent Hill you have the cinematic camera like Resident Evil, but when you push up on your joypad, they're gonna move forward, like where their
Fixed
face.
camera.
Yeah,
It's the difference. It's a
Why?
fixed
Why
camera as
the fuck?
opposed to tank controls
Why the
yeah.
fuck can't we get a new Dino Crisis?
because they don't
But
want to make it.
like, why would they make a new Dino Crisis? Like,
They
you would
could.
think that you would think that someone would be like, you know what, we can make a Dino Crisis. They're still making Jurassic Park movies. We'll release it when a Jurassic Park movie comes out.
They don't want to
That's a
make it.
win.
Yeah, they
I
just
would think it's a good
they,
idea.
they put the marketing behind it, and like showed that it's like an old thing coming to new. Like I think if they get a good marketing team, they could really bring it. They could do the same thing with Animusha. You know what I mean? With
You
how
saying that
well that like uh
Ghost of Tsushima.
yeah.
I've been
And
saying that about Parasite Eve forever. Just make another Parasite Eve.
I wanted to like that so bad, but like there was some things that like I just couldn't get past certain parts. But like the story of it was so weird that I just really wanted to. But that was before Let's Plays and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, well, can't get past that. I guess I'll never see the ending of this game. And now these days, just kids would just be like, I'm just gonna stream or watch someone play the Telltale games. I was like, you can just play that. It's not hard.
Yeah. That's the thing people do now. Like, why? Just play the game.
I did watch As Dusk Falls. I watched someone play through As Dusk Falls, so I can't really say.
Well, you could see like how they that could because you could see how they do their
What path they went down.
yeah.
Mhm.
If they fucked up enough so you don't fuck up.
And the one that I watched, they went down a path of destruction. Like so many people died. So many people died.
Oh yeah,
It,
what we were talking about in the Discord. Yeah, that second Dark Pictures. Yeah, I loved it until the end, man. That
Which one you
ending,
talk about? You talk about
Little Hope. I
Well, no,
just
I like Little Hope a lot until
I
like I said, the ending is just weird.
I just hate these cop out endings where like the ending is not that it's all a dream, but it's basically an ending like that. Oh, it's all a dream and nothing mattered. I'm like, oh. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it matters some if everyone died, then yeah, he would die too. But still, like it's
these,
just
I
such
these
a
like
are
the
cop out
concept of
these are
Little
ending.
not
Hope.
these are not games that I play very often. The only reason why I ended up playing As Dusk Fall is because I didn't want to put the money on the Quarry, which is what my daughter really wanted.
Quarry's a good game.
I ain't paying no $6 for no damn
It's
Quarry.
I think it's $30 now. I think I saw it on Best Buy for 30.
I'm
You can
good.
get it if you get it for 30. It's worth 30. The Quarry's an interesting game. I enjoyed my time with it. I know people have their problem with supermassive games, and I completely understand it. But I enjoy what they do and what they bring to gaming in terms of like, hey, this is not going to be your action-packed
I
game. This is going
I
to be
do think that like people keep putting like Resident Evil, The Evil Dead, Predator, what's the other one? Friday the 13th, making those in these games where it's like a 4v1 type game. They need to
yeah.
make them into a supermassive type game, like a supermassive
I
Friday the
agree.
13th, a supermassive what's the other one? Like Evil Dead. Because I hate these 4v1 games. Like, I I played Dead by Daylight once, and I was like, even when I played the killer, I still was like, this is kind of boring. I'm just kind of like walking all slow trying to find someone to kill. Like, I just don't get the gameplay loop of any of those games.
Haley from PSVG says she wants
You're muted, Scar.
yeah, your muted Scar.
Oh shit! I got a friend who that is that he streams a lot, and that is the only game that he plays. Dead by Daylight. That is the only game that he plays. It's just
Well,
I don't
friend of the
know.
podcast, Husky, likes that game a lot. So, I mean, there's people that I know that I respect their opinion on that like that game. I just don't. I don't know. It just, I just don't get it.
Yeah, don't really appeal to me. All right, it's Delvin's turn because we getting close to 3 hours.
We ain't getting no closer than
Um,
3 hours.
3 hours since we've been here, not 3 hours since the show's been running. 3 hours since we've been here.
um, I played a couple of games, but we talked a little about To Dust Falls. I played that one a little bit.
Okay, so how did your beginning go? Like we can talk about up to where you are.
You want to do spoilers with it?
I mean, I mean, if you can do all the spoilers you want to because your game could be completely different than mine.
Okay, so I'll tell you. Like I like the story. It's fascinating. Like my character, the game starts off when you have a car accident or not, depending on what you do is how bad the car accident is or isn't.
Right?
And the rambunctious teens run you off the road and send a little bad word, and
Yeah.
then you have to break into the house, the sheriff's house. I'm trying not to be too spoiler,
Did
just
you
in case people.
did you remember the code? I didn't. I thought I had it, and then I
I did.
but
I did remember it. Let me ask you this, because did you encounter the dog?
yes.
What did you end up doing with the dog?
I I tried. What was it? I tried. Was it? Is like you had the option. You can try to talk to him. You could like. I can't remember exactly what I did. Like throw a stick or something like
Yeah,
that.
you could either throw a stick, which is what I did.
That's what I did.
You could talk to the dog to try to calm him, or you can do something, or you can just straight up bolt and run. I think I threw a stick and the dog wasn't having that shit at all. He's like, "Fuck
Not
you."
one bit. And I threw a stick also. It was just like, nah, dog. We not having this today.
Yeah, and I ended up locking the dog like in the pool house or some shit like that
Yep.
because he tried to take. But yeah, I kind of I like the game. I like that the game is so different. And there's so many different kind of ways you can get to certain parts of the story. Like even when you get in the house after you lock the dog inside, and you see the chief's wife,
Uh-huh.
and you realize that she has a condition, and you can decide to tell her what's going on.
Now, you know what? The funny thing about that, because this is early in the game, the funny thing about that is like if you stop her from pressing the button and you just talk to her, she'll be like, he'll never tell me. She'll be writing the shit down. She'll be like, he'll never tell me shit anyway. Try over there. Like,
Yeah.
Whatever he's into is his fucking business. Like,
Yeah, she does say that.
she's like, yo, I was like, yo, the wife is like, I mean, she might as well just held up aside and say, fuck that nigga, son.
Yeah,
Like,
because that's essentially when I was playing it. I pulled the alarm out so she couldn't call nobody to alarm people, and I told her like, "Hey, people, there's the goals downstairs. I don't want nothing to happen to you, so let me protect you. But I need to know where this cat money at." And she's like, "All right, I don't care. You don't tell me shit anyway, so go look in here."
yeah, when we played, me and my daughter played. Eventually, the husband of the family, he died.
Oh,
Yeah, he died. And because I thought the decisions that I was making, right? I thought the decision that I was making was going to be like, okay, he's going to take one for the team and he's going to be all right. Because at that time, I had already been watching the other one where the little girl got taken and she survived it all. But of course, you know she survives it because you see her at the very beginning in the pool.
yeah.
So you know she survives this regardless. But like there's all kinds of stuff that like have you been through the end of the standoff?
No, I'm
Okay.
almost at the end of the standoff.
Okay.
I'm out right after the part where they tell you can send one person out.
Okay. Now those two things, like depending on who goes out, it is vastly different from each other.
Who did you send out? Trying to see if we got it different.
We sent out the kid.
That's what I did.
But if you send out the dad, it's a completely different situation where he tells you the truth about some shit. If you send out the dad, he tells you that he doesn't really have cancer, all this other shit. Like
I was fucking him up.
he tells you all this shit. He doesn't say any of this. Like if you send a little girl out, he never says anything. He never says anything about.
And you beat his ass.
Like he tells you he doesn't have cancer, and he only came up with that so that he can try to get back in with his son because he was gone for so long.
No, I will have to. He have to catch that fade. We got to fight.
Yeah, yeah. So like it's like vastly different, and like everything is different depending on who you send out.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, but the problem that I have with that game, right? I don't know whether they're gonna have some DLC or something like that, but that shit ends on a hell of a cliffhanger.
They have to have a season 2. I think
it is. I mean, in both the one that I watched and the one that I played, it ended on the same cliffhanger, even though the situations were different. It ended on the same cliffhanger, and I have to know what happens next.
Well, the sequel's just going to be called Dusk, right? But there's already a game called that, so.
Yes, there is. Look how Scarfreak is looking.
But yeah, I like how that in like the the character of Jay, he ends up in two wildly different places in what I played. The difference between what I played and the difference between what I watched. Whoa. Now, a
Interesting.
lot of the same conversation happens. A lot of the same conversation happens. But where that character ended up was wildly different. I, I can't wait for you to get through it and we have a real fucking conversation about
Yeah,
some shit. Like
I,
we
I,
didn't.
I will touch on this because there's one part of the game I'll talk about that really hit me hard. Like, there's a scene in the game which I don't think I've ever seen in a video game where you, depending on how you play it, you find out that your partner's cheating on you.
Nigga. Like, yo.
And
All right. So what had happened was I had I had seen it before I played it. So
oh,
like I played it a little bit differently than with the way that I seen it, but eventually it ended up in the same place. But like that scene,
it's rough.
that shit got really real
It got
because
rough,
like if you've ever been through something like that,
and
and
I
I
have.
have,
It's like,
bruh,
yo, this,
when you have, it's like, man, this shit is hitting way too close. Like, okay,
yeah,
let me pause this shit. Let me go handle some other shit real quick
that's how I
because
felt.
this shit got a little too close because like, yo, they getting ready to pack and move, and her phone starts buzzing,
And then you
and
see who it is, and
yeah, he
if
looks at the phone, and he looks at the phone purely because they hadn't heard from the moving company. Like, so he thought that they might have called her. So he looking at the phone, and like some dude is on her phone.
yeah,
And then when you ask her, she is just lying her ass off.
yeah,
Just, just
that's the
like,
cool thing about the game. Like, you can either you can call out on her lies, you can
or
bring
you
clues and evidence to her about it. Like, we know what the fuck you're doing,
right,
or you
or
can
you
just brush it off and ignore it.
yep.
There's so many options that could alter the
So it's
story. Like
like
how you
some
can be,
LA noir type shit.
No, no, it's not LA Noir. It's not quite LA Noir, but
yeah,
like because LA Noir is so fucking un unbalanced.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
LA.
like a real conversation. Where
It's
in
a, it's
terms
a,
of like,
it's yeah,
Well,
it's
it
a
sounds
real
like
ass
what you were
conversation.
just describing though. Like LA in the re enhanced edition of LA Noir and the PC edition as well, they changed it from like um clue like doubt, like was it truth, doubt, and something else. Well, they changed it to where like one is that you have evidence that you can prove. Doubt is that you're trying to catch them in a lie, but you don't have the evidence to back it.
this is more like an organic conversation. That's how it flows
It's
better.
good.
It's not like here, bitch, here's my proof. No, it's more like, well, what about this? You can ask this question, and you can
It's like
basically
like
tell her, I know what the fuck you're talking about.
you said that this is happening, but like I noticed some things. Like you
It,
can
like
break yeah,
like a
yeah,
real relationship. Like you can
yeah.
call it out, like certain things you notice, and she's like, oh, fuck, you got me. Like how you said you at this place at this time, but you're really not at this place at this time. Because I called and checked it out. And it's not
Right.
like looking at the environment like, oh, I know this is happening. No, it's you're based off of your experience of being in this relationship. You kind of know what's going on,
Man,
and it's fascinating.
that shit got so real. That shit got so real because this shit happened to me twice. So like,
It's crazy because it's like you can, and you find yourself getting upset like fuck, because you
yeah,
see you see the text, you read the text, and then you hear her trying to cover it up.
yeah. It's just
And,
like it's I mean it's just real. And I love the fact that it's not and y'all talked about this in the show um on PSVG. about how like it's not like a Telltale game where in between stuff you're kind of moving your character around, choosing to
Yeah.
talk to this person, that person. No. They do all of that shit for you. It might be a little, like light quick time events, but for the most part, like it's just telling you the story.
Yeah, it streamlines the story for you. It tells you the story, and you react to what's happening in your environment. Basically,
No,
you don't have no urgency, no idea where you're going. You just go there, and based on the decisions you make, determines where you go and where the story goes from there.
And
and it
also,
I
just
like that aspect.
Telltale games give you the illusion that you're making a choice, but everything ends
it's
up in the
something.
same place.
Yeah,
Yes.
this no, it doesn't. Absolutely doesn't. There are some story beats that are similar between what I played and what I watched, but where it ended up, way different.
Yeah, and the Supermassive games have that, but the problem with the Supermassive games is they're way different. Depends on life or death, like who dies, who lives. This game doesn't necessarily depend on that. This depends on like your relationship with people. Like I'll give a perfect example of how earlier in the game, and this tickled me a lot. You're playing, um, you have to cover your eyes. You have to describe what you saw. Remember it to your daughter, and you can choose whether to tell the truth or cheat. So I chose to cheat, just thinking like, how this not gonna make a deal. Don't fuck with my child.
No, she called you on that shit.
Then, yes, and later in the story, when you're talking to the people at the hotel, you're being sincere and asking for help. Your daughter straight up just says, "Don't believe Daddy. He's a liar." It's just out of the blue, like what the fuck? And the people look at you like, "Oh, why is she saying that?" And it's like, fuck. That backfired. Something that you would think is so harmless, and you playing with the child, your child called you out of being a fucking lion and playing in the game. It's like it's a cool element to the story in terms of like it's something you wouldn't expect to happen.
The person that I watched cheated. I guessed, and I happened to guess right. Just happened to guess right. And I don't know how I did it, but I did it. But yeah, so like it's so vastly different, and I can't talk about some of the differences in the ending, but just know that like where that shit goes, it can go wildly different,
Yeah,
super different, and
like
like depending on like when you're certain characters, if you decide to tell somebody the truth, and like where it changes it changes so significantly if you decide to tell a certain person the truth as opposed to lying. But like if you lie, when that lie catches up to you, it's like whoa, buddy.
yeah,
It's crazy. It's crazy, and yeah, I really like the game, and I hope they got some DLC or another game or whatever. Hopefully that's on Game Pass also, because I really want to play again and just make some wildly different choices just to see how different, because like you see from the graph after the fact, like you
branching
there's a bunch
paths.
there's a bunch of branching paths that you ain't even hit.
Yeah, I want to check that out too because so far in the game, none of my people have died yet, and I've
I,
read a little bit of how it can drastically like one decision. If I would have made the wrong decision, I would have lost like two people just like that. Like, okay,
I lost 3 people.
the sniper situation.
Nope, I survived that. The character survived that one
If if you
because I wanted the other people to trust me.
if you didn't do what you did, that shit would have went left real
Yeah,
bad. Yeah, and
yeah. I
because
want
I read about that one, like yeah, that one goes
yeah, I
left
want
really
I want
bad.
I want to see what happens when that shit goes left, because both me and the one that I watched, we said something. It's like, hey, you know,
Yeah,
I ain't trying to have somebody get killed over my shoulder, dog. Like
yeah.
that's not. not what I want to do. But
It goes left real bad if you don't say something.
I'm gonna let that shit happen, dog. It's about to be a whole. I'm about to be a whole ass problem because I'm gonna make some drastically different choices when I play by myself.
Yeah. Let me ask you, the father, how did you play him as?
Okay, so I played him as he tried to be tough for his family, but eventually he would fold.
Ah, I played him as a strong person who would do anything for his family. And like there, at one point, I ended up fighting the guy for the gun and beat his ass for the gun and pulled the trigger. And it just so happened that the gun was empty. He was like,
Yeah.
"You were going to shoot me for that?"
Here's the problem that I have with that. When you're wrestling him for the gun, it goes off.
Yeah.
So that means he only had one shot in there. He was like, "You think I would just give you a loaded gun?" And it was like, "No, but the gun was loaded. You had at least
it was.
One. It was a shotgun. You had one in there because it goes off." So what are you saying?
Yeah, so, and that scene was interesting to me because he's like, "Oh, you were gonna kill me." I'm like, "Well, you're gonna fucking take my wife." So that ain't happening, Captain.
Right. So yeah, it's really cool. I don't want. And we're talking about stuff that's early in the game, so it's not spoiling anything significant. And there's like a bunch of different decisions you can make and be in different places. So
I highly recommend playing this game for anybody. I hope I like this game so much. I hope they have a PS5 version for people who have a PlayStation and want to try it because it's that good of a game. It's such a
is it on
great
is it on PlayStation?
No, it is not. It might be a Microsoft only game. It might be a Microsoft Studio game.
It's on is Xbox and PC. Damn.
It's a really good game.
It's on Game Pass, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. All right. What else you got, and then we can wrap this up.
I'll tell about one of the other games I played that I was talking about on PSVG, but I'll talk about it right now. I played a game called Bright Memory Infinite. Have you heard of this game?
Is that the one by one dude?
I think it might be. It's a first-person shooter action adventure game. It's an indie game. And for an indie game, it looks great. The game length is about, I want to say, 3 hours long, maybe. And all it is just this big-ass action set piece where you play as this character. I can't remember her name. I'm thinking like Chin. And there's like this black hole like in the middle of like the city. And you have to go towards that black hole and stop whatever's causing that black hole. The plot's nonsensical, but it's fun as fuck because you have a sword. It plays a lot like you ever played that game. What is the name of the game that had it's a damn, I can't remember the name of the game. It's also kind of an indie game that has like the Asian culture where you have the sword and the guns and stuff like that. It's damn, I can't remember that. But anyway,
Devil May Cry.
No, it's a first-person shooter game too. Can't remember the name of the game, but either way,
Vanquish.
The game, no, not Vanquish. It's because it's first-person shooter. Dragon something.
Vanquish is third person, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to think of things that are sort of like that, but Dragon something.
Yeah. The sequel just came out not too long ago again, but it doesn't matter. But the game's a first-person game where you have a sword that you can shoot, that you can slice people with, and you also carry guns like machine guns and stuff like that. And you're going through the environment, and you can slice people up while you shoot them. It's so much fun. It plays like it's fast-paced action, and you just keep constantly moving, and the story keeps moving with you. And it has these big action set pieces that you really can't tell us an indie game. Like the environments look great. Even the character models don't necessarily look great. They almost look like generic, but the environments look really great. It looks like almost like a tech demo for the PS5 when it first came out. Like, oh, this is what we're trying to do. It doesn't look too polished, but it looks polished enough. We're like, oh, I can see where you're trying to go. How they have like the rain effects dripping off the screen and how it looks like Ray tracing is all in effect all throughout the game.
Are you talking
It
about
looks like
Shadow Warrior?
yes, Shadow Warrior. It plays like Shadow Warrior,
Okay.
where you have a character who can carry like a gun. You press the triangle button to slice with the sword. You press the R2 button to use your machine gun and stuff like that. And you travel the environments, and you can also grapple on the environments. But such a fun, action-packed game that it's short. Like I said, I beat it. It's like 2 to 3 hours long. The story is constantly moving. It's nonsensical.
Is it replayable or?
Yeah, it's very replayable because you can play as you can play it again and get more weapons and
So it's
help
kind of
you
like
go
those
through.
like platinum games. Platinum games are normally, or at least the old ones were like shorter games, like the Transformers Devastation and stuff is a short game, but you were supposed to replay it to get
Exactly,
the.
to get more stuff. But like the game's not that hard. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun just going through the atmosphere, fighting the bad guys, and figuring out how to you mix the sword play with the gun play. I like that a lot.
And it looks like it was made by one person.
It's dope. It's really good. It's impressive. I like it a lot. I like it way more than I should. I don't think it's that much money neither. Probably like what is it? If you want like a fun game to play, don't not worry about like it's okay. It's
It's not going to be pulling on your heartstrings, but I heard that
yeah.
game's got some like jiggle physics and stuff. Some like for the
I will
ladies.
say this. I didn't notice this. It wasn't that bad through the first playthrough of it, but after I played through it and looked at the costumes that you could put because the main character is a female.
Uh huh.
You could put her like in a mini skirt and stuff like, oh, this is a little weird.
What's the first person? That's how you gonna see
Yeah.
the skirt.
Like you could put her like a schoolgirl outfit and stuff like that. Oh, that's a little weird. Why are we doing this? But I had a blast with it. It's a really fun game,
Or
fast paced action game that I liked a lot. I think it's like $20 or something like that. Might be even cheaper than that. But like I said, it's a good 3 hour, 4 hour game. Not even no, it can't not even 3 hours. Like 3 hour game. Definitely check it out if you want a quick action packed game to play.
not.
Turn off your brain
So
with.
it's like the complete opposite of as dust falls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
As Dust Falls is pretty long. Like we did it in basically 2 sittings, but like we really like sat there for a while, contemplating. Like remember, it took me a little bit longer than everybody else because I was going back and forth with somebody on making the decisions.
Yeah.
So
That had to be interesting.
yeah, it is. It really is because if like I said on normal decisions you if you choose something different, it'll go back and forth and it'll randomly decide which one to go with. When it gets to the important decisions, it's majority rules. But since there is no majority with 2 people, you have to agree. In those conversations,
Oh, they make you wait?
when you get to the major decisions, you have to agree. If it's just 2 people, maybe if you had 3, is best 2 out of 3. But no. You have to agree when it's just you and another person.
That's cool. That is really cool. I like that aspect of it.
I
And
wonder how chaotic 8 players is.
that has to be nuts. Okay, Bright Memory Infinite is $20.
Yeah, sorry.
So
Well, apparently there's a I don't know if it's a like a kind of a demo-ish version of it, but there's a thing called Bright Memory without the infinite by the same guy that's $7. I don't know if that's like
I
kind of
think that was.
like a tech demo version of the same thing.
I think that's what that was. I played that. It's kind of like a tech demo type game, but it's like I said. I enjoyed the game a lot. It's really fun.
Word up.
Cool.
All right, are we going to speak on anything else, or are we going to wrap this up?
I think we're good, man. Holy shit.
Yana. Delvin, tell the people where they can find you, man.
You can find me on Twitter at Delvin_Cox. Check out Play Some Video Games anywhere you get podcasts, and check out the Delvin Cox Experience anywhere you get podcasts, and check out PSXP anywhere you get podcasts. Those are the main 3 shows I do. Oh, and Cadillac on Mars. Can't forget that one with Chaffee. He killed me.
Shout out to Chaffee. He bucked on us. He bucked on us. He was supposed to be on the show, and then now I see why y'all don't have episodes very often. But my man, thank you again for coming through.
You're welcome,
it's always a blast. And I'm still catching up on the podcast, but I tried to listen to the most recent one just to try to get what's happening right now. But like I said, my commute is short, so I didn't get too deep into the episode. But man, I'm a fan. So
yeah, this podcast has been around. Like our podcast has been around for a minute, and like every like community that we kind of like get in with, that they're kind of like sister podcaster almost. They all like end because we've been like almost 500 episodes later, so we're like, we need to find some more, like who is like a podcast we would consider. So I don't know.
The show has been The Boys just for a while now.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm a fan, so thank you, dog.
No problem.
And if even if it's not August or spring fling, if you want to come through, holla at your boy, holla at one of us, and we can do the thing. I always enjoy this. I enjoy this, and I enjoy everyone who listens. Thank you. Do the things like, share, subscribe, talk to your people, tell your mama them, tell your cousin them. That's how we do. And we'll be back with more August next week. This is moving. We got 2 more left.
Yeah.
Crazy to think August almost gone. That's wild.
Yeah, because next week my daughter starts school. Well, she has like an orientation thing on the 25th.
Yeah, I can't believe it's almost fucking September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too hot to be September. Almost.
Yeah.
But actually today has been really cool. Like it was
today's been decent. But
it was like 70. It was like 73 today. I wore pants to work.
90 degrees in Miami.
Well, I mean, it's Miami.
Yeah.
90 degrees is a brisk day for y'all.
It's like 90 degrees on Christmas.
That's happened before. Plenty of times.
I can't. I cannot fathom it being like that hot on Christmas. Like, and then I don't care about no white Christmas or anything like that. But like, I can't fathom it not being at least like chilly on Christmas. You know what I mean?
Sunburn Christmas.
I don't know about no sunburn Christmas. Oh man, that could be a show title too. Okay, I'm gonna put that down. And all right, so thank y'all again for checking us out. We'll be back next week, and with more August. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Peace.
Later.